My daddy.
All right. Welcome everyone to episode 5 um, of the MILFN podcast. Um, First off, we want to shout out Devin's husband, Darren, for creating the music for our intro. His Instagram is dmajor46208. So shout out to you, Darren. Thank you. He's a part of our team.
Yes, part of the team.
He's part of our
Devin,
team.
can you add his IG to the comment section just so people can know?
Sure.
Yeah, because we got to get it scrolling across one day.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, y'all. Happy Monday.
Happy Mondays, MILFN Monday.
Yes. All right. And
Thank you.
yeah. So I'll get started. We're gonna do our little check-in.
Yes.
Devin, how are you today?
I am rushed. I was doing homework until 7:50-ish. Then I had to get myself together. But I'm okay. Doing good. No complaints.
All right, Lola.
I'm a little tired. I got off work late, got back home 45 minutes after that. And had enough time to take a 15-minute nap and hop on. So we're gonna be refreshed next Monday though. I promise. I'm gonna try.
Okay, well, I have not had a nap. I've been up since 5 a.m. I have a little energy drink. So yeah, I've been up, but this is my normal. I'm not good. Adult life is not fun, but life is good. So I'm great. This episode is our part 2 for our Women's History Month for March. So it's our part 2 of our birth stories. So this week we will tackle like perinatal anxiety and depression. I'll let Lola give the disclaimer because she said my disclaimer was not pleasing. It was kind of dark and like straight no shooter.
It was a bit much. We will be tackling tough topics today. Some of the topics we discuss, as well as we said, as depression, anxiety, and we are tackling the topic of abortion as well. So I just want to put that disclaimer out here. I don't want to say if you're pro-choice or not pro-choice, to log in or log off, but just understand that we will be having some tough conversations today. All right, Tan, are you ready to give us a little background of your story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I said, feel free to cry if you feel like if the spirit moves you. You don't have to. I mean, I am okay.
Not the spirit.
I have moved, you'll understand by the end of my story. So I had 2 completely different pregnancies. Mm-hmm. With Kennedy, it was fairly smooth. I worked in a call center, so it was extremely stressful, and that's when I found out I have anxiety. So I was taken off of work for stress and anxiety, and I was healthy and everything, but with what was going on at that particular job, they were talking about going on strike, all types of stuff like that. So with the strike, you're not covered under your insurance. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, they not going to let me have my baby at the hospital. They're going to kick me out. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And I was a first time mom, already scared. So they took me off of work. But one of my stipulations was I had to go to this. It was like a mom's group I think it was like on Wednesdays or something like that. And I realized like no judgment. But it was at that moment I realized like I wasn't half as bad like as it could get. Because Devin, it's not funny. Because some of these women, their stories were like severe. Mm-hmm. One lady, she had to sleep in the basement or at a outpatient facility. She couldn't even be around like her kids because she was so far gone. And yeah, like it was cool. So that was it with that. And then I did that up until I delivered. You could still go after you had your baby, but I didn't need to go. Um, because like my one stressor was my job at the time. Um, and then during my labor with Kennedy, and this is where it differs. With my labor with Kennedy, I didn't really speak up with the like with the doctors and things like that. I was a first time mom, so I'm just like, okay, going with the flow. It is what it is. It is what it is. Um, with Kennedy, I did not tell anyone I was in labor. So we were actually like 15 minutes away from the hospital and at my mom's house. And then we came home, which is like 30 minutes away from the hospital. And as we're coming up on our exit, I just said it ever so casually. I was like, yeah, see, I think I'm in labor. And he was like, what? Like, why didn't you say something when we were back there? I said, because I've been feeling these pains all day and they don't really hurt that bad, like, like on the TV. So I didn't think nothing of it. The nurses were saying, go home, take some Tylenol and a hot shower and see if, they ease up. But like, I was having contractions like every 5 minutes, then every 30 minutes, then every hour, then every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes. They were like very sporadic.
Mm.
So, I went to sleep. The next day, we ended up going to the hospital. Well, his mom was like, "F them nurses. Um, she's over there in pain. Take her to the hospital now. Forget what they talking about." And so he ended up taking me to the hospital. They was like, "Bring your bags, but don't bring them in because you may not because we don't know if we're gonna keep you yet." So I guess they have like a quota or something for Labor Day, like how many babies they can have on Labor Day, because they were like, you know, it was packed there at the hospital.
So that was on the third.
Uh-huh. So I
Oh,
went in on the 3rd of September, and they
Wait,
kept.
what year is this again?
This was in 2018.
Okay.
okay.
So I went into we went to the hospital. They put me in like a little triage area. They checked me, and when they checked me, Deontay had to use the bathroom. So I was in there by myself while this lady stuck her whole body up in me to see how far I was dilated. It was just so evasive. But we went through that process, and then the lady just came in and she's like, well, how do you feel about having a baby today? You're going to be induced. So I'm like, okay, I guess. Well, actually, no, I didn't. I went back and forth with her because I was like, no, no, no. I'm going to be induced next week. So because I didn't understand her question. But they ended up inducing me, but they let me leave and go get my bags and something to eat because they had to get my room ready. So we were able to eat. I had a really nice nurse. She was like, "Go ahead and eat while I get you registered in the system. Take your time because if you don't eat, then you may not be able to eat at all." But I made it up until like 5, 6 centimeters before I got my epidural. And now this made me mad, but I didn't speak up on it. The lady, one of the nurses, I told her I think my water broke. She said, "No, I think you peed on yourself." I'm like, "Ma'am, I've been peeing on myself for 9 months. I know that this is not pee. Okay."
Yeah.
But she still put like a little thing down there to test it. And then she was like, "Oh, your water broke." And at this point, I was annoyed because the contractions were like really, really bad at this point. I'm like, okay. But I still didn't say nothing because it's my first baby. I don't want to speak up. You don't know that you can speak up. So that was fine with that pregnancy. Then here's 2020. March 13th was my last day at work because of COVID. So I was pregnant with Kennedy, and we were home every single day. I was like, we didn't go outside, nothing. So I was already like, mentally, how just sitting there watching the news all day, mentally you already a little all over the place. So, oh well, back up,
Wait. You
back
mean Chance?
no with Kennedy.
Kennedy first.
With Kennedy, you didn't go outside?
During COVID, but I skipped finding out about being pregnant with Chance. I just fast forward.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
let me back up. So at the time, my job that I had, they gave you You got 1 year off. It was unpaid, called child bonding leave. You got
Mm.
1 year off unpaid, but you had to use it before your child turned one. So I didn't use mine until like a week before Kennedy's first birthday, because before that she wasn't doing nothing. So it was like we gonna be sitting here looking at each other.
What? Bonding.
Yeah, but I mean, I would rather be there, like when she walks and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I waited to take mine. So she turned one, and then I think it was like exactly a month after she turned one, I found out I was pregnant with Chance, and I can remember that day. Like if I close my eyes, I can remember everything that happened. I can remember where I was sitting. I can remember what I can vividly. You know how you can vividly picture something. I can
Hmm.
vividly picture this whole weekend of when I found out. It was just like mind boggling. It was because I could vividly picture it. So I found out I was pregnant with Chance, and I'm thinking to myself like, this is too soon. Kennedy's one. All
Yeah.
stuff is gonna happen, and so um, I did make an appointment to terminate my pregnancy because I was like, this is just too much for me. I have to
Mm-hmm.
do this. I don't know what to do. So I talked to my mom. I talked to Deontay, of course. And I was going out for painting with a twist with one of my friends. So we went out. I talked to my grandma. I talked to Lola, and my grandma's stance was, if you do it, do it. We ain't gonna talk about it. If you don't do it, don't do it. We ain't gonna talk about it. Leave it at that. And then I talked to Lola. She's like, well, you're not the first woman. So she's like, you never know. That could be your boy. So I said, go for it. And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like super scared, super nervous. But I'm like, it's like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, like those old TV shows where they would have them. They're telling you to do one thing. I didn't know what to do. But like on one hand, I'm like, okay, well, this could be my boy, because I really, in a perfect world, I wanted a boy first and then a girl, so like the boy could protect the sister. Um, and then on the other hand, I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of really soon. Kennedy's one. She hasn't even had that much time with me. And I was like, oh my God, and I don't want her to like not like the baby, and all these thoughts were going through my mind. So then I had started a new job that following Monday after finding out. So it was like, I have this appointment on this day. I have to tell my new boss this
Yeah.
and all this stuff. So
Right.
I when I did talk to my new boss once I started the job, and she told, like, we had a team meeting and she told everybody. And this is kind of when I noticed it was getting a little weird for me, because I did decide to just, well, let me back up again. That same day of going to painting with a twist, I came home and I was like spotting a little bit, and so that made me scared. Like, oh my God, like, am I losing the baby?
Yeah.
And so Deontay took me to the emergency room, and they did an ultrasound. They was like, well, you got to just make your decision, whatever
Question.
you decide.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Did you, well, you said you talked to Deontay about terminating the pregnancy. What was his, did he want you to do it? Did he want to keep it? Did he was like, whatever you want to do? Like, what was his stance on terminating?
His stance was pretty much, I don't agree with it, but it's your body, so whatever you feel like you want to do. Um, and then, but when we went to the hospital and like they did the ultrasound and everything, they showed me like the
Oh,
little
yeah. It was,
flutter.
yeah.
Yeah, they showed me
It was over.
they showed
So,
the flutter, and then they like checked and everything, and it was like, oh no, everything is fine, it's good. But then it's like, but we noticed in your chart that you have an appointment at Planned Parenthood, so you kind of gotta make your decision quickly.
how
And
was that in your chart? Did you tell them that ahead of time, or?
because I had to call them. Maxwell, be quiet. I'm telling my story. This is my episode. Tell my story. Okay. Um,
Like, we can't even jump in.
because I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You just tell me if you got a question. But
I don't have a question. I had a statement, but it's too far back. It's,
go on.
I
You
can't remember what it was. Oh, I think the same thing happened to me. Like, My second turn, 1, and like a week or 2 before she turned, found out. And so I was thinking about like, this is too much, this is too soon.
Mm-hmm.
But when cause you know how like I didn't even realize that I was pregnant. Like I had like ate some chips and threw up and didn't think nothing of it. But then you know that meme where you be like, that lady be looking. I'm like, what's today's date? I threw up. Okay. And I'm like, I had texted him because he had a gig, and I was like, oh my God, I might need you to get a pregnancy test. He like, pregnancy test. Yeah, it's real. And I was just like, she just turned 1. Like I was contemplating termination too, because it just seemed like too soon. And it was like COVID.
Yeah.
But the Lord is good.
The Lord is good.
The Lord is good. And yeah, it gets real, because it's like, this is already a lot. And with you had 1. I had 2 kids and was finding out about a third. I called my mama bawling. Like, I need you to come hold me.
Yeah.
Because this is getting real.
Maxwell is shooting his shot in the college.
He is trying to.
Okay, look, because I said when we come, we got a double date or triple date. We
triple
can't
date.
Out.
Yeah.
Triple date. And yes, he is a musician, and I was like, that was a big gig, because I think he did something for like Rashida and Kurt.
Okay, back really back.
Okay, I'm really back. I'm really back. Yeah,
talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
And I was like, I didn't want to mess up the moment, but I was like, I need you to bring home a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And that's how it all went down. But I was shook.
Yeah.
You should.
The least.
It's the back-to-back kids that'll have you contemplating, because I know for sure, definitely with, my first two, Real and Sebastian, like that distance of finding out. Like I found out with Sebastian, it was a little late though, because I had Morena gave me issues, and by the time I found out that I was pregnant, they were they were like, would you like to set up your appointment to find the gender? So I was already like 16, 17 weeks at that point. It wasn't nothing I could really do. So, but it did cross my mind, like, so it's too late to terminate. Like, I don't know if if it was a little earlier and I found out, we might have, I might have considered it. But
that out of all, and I hadn't had 3 pregnancies, but I found out, and my mom could say, like, I found out like super, super early, like 4 weeks, 6 weeks with all of them.
Me too.
Like super early.
When I found out early-ish with Brielle. Sebastian, I didn't find out so early. Like, I was breastfeeding still, so I hadn't got my period back, so I already didn't know. And when I was I was up and down feeling sick. Like I was on meds, and I was taking different type of stuff to make the milk come. So like I wasn't even 100% myself to feel my pregnancy.
How old was Brielle
when I found out about Sebastian?
Yeah,
she had to be like a good 6 or 7 months. I know. I was at our first birthday, about 6 months pregnant with Sebastian. Like that's how close they are.
So that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Deontay made a comment, and the reason I asked is because, not to like shade y'all relationship, but I was married, and so I was like, still contemplating termination or thinking that's what I wanted to do, but I also have to consider him. But that's why I asked about Deontay and how he felt about it, because I still feel like single or married, you still have that choice, but you have to
consider the other person.
Yeah, because that could have been our boy.
Well, luckily for us,
it's a couple more kids for me. I'm sorry.
And we're done. So
okay, yeah. We're gonna breeze right past that.
No, we're not gonna breeze right past that. I would like to say that the conversation in the chat section, Deontay would like a couple more kids. So Tanzanese, you guys probably need to have a conversation after today. Good luck with that. But let's get back to Tan's story.
Tan, you there?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so where was
I? You finding out about Chance.
Yes. So we were there. Yes. So they did all this stuff. We found out we decided to go forward with it. And then after that, I started the new job. So this is when I started to notice that like my mind, like I was going through something, but I really didn't know what I was going
Mm,
through. I wasn't happy at all. Like
yeah.
when I tell people I was pregnant, everybody's so excited. And I'm like, why are you so happy?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's not okay. Like that's literally was my reaction. I was like, yeah, I just wasn't happy. And then Beyonce's friend had a baby shower, and I had been like in the bed every day, like in the bed watching TV. Kennedy right there with me. I was in the bed every day, all day. And Beyonce was about to go to his friend's baby shower. He's like, you sure you don't want to go? I was like, no. He's like, you know what? You need to get off the bed. You have been in the bed for weeks. And he's like, I think you're depressed. And I was like, no, I'm not. But then like it started clicking. Like I'm not happy. I'm not this. This.
Mhm.
So then when he said that, it triggered something in me, and I realized it. And I tried to do different things. He tried to get me out the house and move around and just get excited about the baby. Um, Fast forward to the anatomy scan, we found out it was a boy. Now at that point, I was a little happy. I was getting like out of the little depression, but then when they said it was a boy, I was geeked because I wanted my boy. I was like, yes, the little boy, then I can be done. Um, then that's when like you think you over something, or like it doesn't affect you until it affects you.
Mhm.
Um, so we did the anatomy scan. They said it was a boy, but then you know how they also test, like look at the baby's organs and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was Chance's kidney. He had one kidney that was regular size for his, like for where I was in my pregnancy. Then another kidney was small.
Oh.
So the options were we had to get another anatomy scan, and if it hasn't grown, then um he would have to be rushed off to surgery after delivery. So those were like the two options. Another one, fine, then we can move on. If not, he has to rush off to surgery. So then on our way home, my mom called me screaming, it's a boy," because we didn't do a gender reveal because of COVID. So
Yeah.
what I did was I recorded the nurse typing "it's a boy" by his Peter Peter on the little screen. So I recorded that, and then I sent it to our family, and that's how we did our gender reveal for him.
That's cute.
Yeah, it wasn't as extravagant as Kennedy's, but because of the time,
Yeah.
whatever. But so I called my mom, and my mom was screaming. They're so excited and stuff like that. Then I just started bawling because I was like, oh my God, God is punishing me because I wanted to terminate my pregnancy. So now he has a smaller kidney. And then when it's bigger, then he's have to have surgery. So I'm like going through all these thoughts in my mind, like God is punishing me. He's going to take him away from me because I thought about doing this and I thought about doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't know that that was still affecting me,
Mhm.
like having those thoughts of terminating the pregnancy. And so going forward, we did have like we went through the labor and everything with having him. Um, Now this is where I say that this labor was totally different than with Kennedy. This labor, I had a German lady. She was like very attentive. She was a sweetheart. But the only thing I didn't like, and I did speak up, was when I was pushing, the doctors were like opening up, like down there, they were opening it up and pushing on me as I'm pushing the baby. So they're like helping me push.
Yeah.
But no. And at one point I had to tell them, I said, hey, stop. We gonna stop it. Like I literally stopped mid push and I said, hey, we gonna stop doing this. Okay.
But that's actually supposed to help you not tear.
No, it did not help.
Mm.
It didn't help at
Yeah.
all.
Huh?
It
You had a
When
tear?
they're when
I tore with
yeah.
Kennedy, but not with Chance.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That pushback and that rollback to roll that's rolling you down there is to help you not
Mm-mm.
tear. So the baby comes out smoother. Like, yeah. It's
I
painful, but that's what it's
I
for.
wait till my 6 week appointment. I told my doctor, Dr. Anderson. He was like, they're not supposed to do that. I'm gonna make sure that they know. I said, thank you. He said, he said, because they think it helps, but it actually hurts the mother. And like, they were supposed to put my IUD right in after I delivered Chance.
Ooh.
Canceled it because that hurt so bad. Because they
Mm-hmm.
were pushing back on me. Like, they're literally opening you up and pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, we're not doing this. Like, mid push, I stopped. Didn't care what they said. And I said, no, we're not going to do this no more.
We need to have a show about push gifts, cause and
Honey.
cut gifts.
Okay.
Cut gifts? Okay.
Well, I
I
had a
thought,
C-section. I had a C-section.
But
yeah.
not a cut gift.
Well, I mean, you can't
I was
call it. I get what she's saying.
cut.
However,
Birthing
that baby
gifts.
came out
Period.
good. There we go.
Birthing gifts.
Yes,
Yes. So something cut.
Because this is traumatic.
very
I'm
much
telling
so.
you. That's why I said no. Like, you're paid in full for the rest of your life. Paid in full. Can't no other woman on this world in this world give you a girl or a boy, if your first daughter or your first son. Period. I'm done. That's it. But I did learn to speak up with that, like with that labor, because that hurt really, really bad. It was very uncomfortable. And Chance came like they broke my water with him. So like at one point I could feel like when they, you know how they stop you from well, Lola, you know how they stop you for max.
Oh my
Mhm.
God.
Yeah,
The gift is the
it's the
baby.
baby. That's what I'm
Call
saying. Like,
yourself call yourself paid in full. Okay.
okay,
Um, you know the like you know how you can feel like well you can feel your water coming out.
like
No.
yeah, when the water breaks, yeah.
Okay, so um
Keep
they
going.
they broke my water and so
Hmm.
I could feel it. So at one point, you know how they okay, so when the doctors go over like they give you a break from pushing, they go over to finish suiting up because they're close to the baby coming out. They can
Yeah.
feel it. So they're over there literally getting dressed and like I feel the water rushing and I'm like holding onto the bed and I just hear them yelling, Tan, stop pushing. Tan, stop pushing. And I was like, I'm not pushing. I'm not pushing. And I looked at my mom and Deontay and I'm like, I'm not pushing. And they're like, she's not pushing. She's not pushing. Chance came shooting out from the pressure of the water because he had gotten stuck. And
Oh.
he just came pushing out and went head first into the sheets, but they caught him.
Mm.
Oh.
So yeah,
He said, I'm on my way.
he came in like a wrecking ball for the whole his whole life. But the point of like the biggest lesson from that is like although I didn't want in the beginning I didn't want to go through with the pregnancy,
Hmm.
I will say that having Chance has strengthened my relationship with God
Hmm.
because I thought I was being punished and I learned like God is not punishing you. And when like 2 years ago he had a bronchial spasm and I was hysterical because I wasn't home. So I'm trying to figure out how to get to the hospital to meet them because Chance was in an ambulance by himself. He was
Ooh.
going in and out of bronchial spasms where you can't breathe, you're going in and out of consciousness. He
Yeah.
was turning blue, everything. Um,
He was at school?
no, he was at home, and
Oh.
the thought he was asleep, like he was going to sleep, but he was really going in and out of consciousness,
Ah.
and he called the ambulance. It was all caught on our Ring doorbell when the
Oh.
ambulance pulled up and everything. Um, that's a totally different story, but they had his lips turning blue, and I literally had to pull over in I think it was a church parking lot or something, and I just like screamed, like I just kept screaming, my God, I know that I want to terminate the pregnancy in the beginning, but don't take my baby, don't take my baby. Like that's what I just kept screaming, and I had to calm myself down, and I drove my car to the hospital because I was just like all over the place. So like you can have those experiences and they can strengthen you elsewhere. So like today I can sit here and say like I healed from how I felt about that and move on because it was a point in time I wouldn't talk about it. at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why his name is what his name is, Chance. I
Oh, that
took a
was my
chance on him.
next question. Yeah.
Yeah, I took a chance on him. He took a chance on me. His
God
middle,
gave you another chance.
yeah, his middle name means strength, and his initials mean peace. He's not peaceful, but
What are his initials?
he's not he's not peaceful at all. But his initials CAS, so Cass.
Okay.
So I wanted to name him Cass at one point, and then I said no. I want his initials to be Cass.
Okay. I like that.
His name has a deeper meaning, and now he couldn't get rid of me if he tried. I'm on that boy like white on rice.
Mm-hmm.
As you should be.
Oh, Maxwell. I thought Maxwell was saying I have one more.
No, he was
Max,
saying glory.
yeah,
Yeah.
Maxwell was about to be blocked tonight on the fifth episode. He was gonna be blocked if he said one more
My
thing.
head glory.
Yes.
But no, so and it did. I did do some research on what was it? The whole abortion thing, and
Hmm.
they said like 1 in 4 women in the U.S. will have an abortion by the time they're 45,
Okay.
and like with regards to postpartum depression, um, it does affect 1 in 8 women, but it's 1.6 times higher for Black women than white women.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say mine was postpartum. It was kind of like perinatal, which is during your pregnancy.
Hmm.
So, but
Did
I'm
you look up anything on that, on like how perinatal depression affects you versus postpartum? Just
no, I didn't because I kind of think it's the same thing, just like perinatal anxiety.
mm-hmm.
Because when they told me about the anxiety, and you like, if you ever talk to like anyone just about anxiety, period,
Mm-hmm.
the smallest things that you do in a day could contribute to having like anxiety.
Yeah.
Like Devin always teases me because I'll be like, "Girl, who all gonna be there when she invite me somewhere?"
Oh my God.
I
I
Yeah,
know.
just sent her the we don't even have to talk about it.
we
But I was just
can.
texting her the other day, like, I'm a pass. It looks like it's only one door in, one door out. No, I'm not gonna go. I'm just not
Nope.
sure.
Mm-mm.
It looks like a basement. I only saw one entrance, one exit. You have to think about that. God forbid they start shooting. Now we all trying to rush through that one door. No, thank you. Oh, thank you. I'll pass. I'll be
Well,
safe.
I have to tell you some college stories because
She used to stay mad at me because I would always be like, "Who's gonna be there?"
Cause sometimes it just be like, show up. It don't matter. I'm
sometimes,
with
yeah.
you. Yeah. I'm with you
But
with that.
I get you. It's like 50-50. Saying it's
Yeah.
not for the BS. And like we've been places fights done broke
Where
out.
where
Now
was I?
we partying 30 minutes from the college. I'm like, Tam, where you at? She like, oh, I'm
Girl,
already on the highway. I'm
no, I
good.
wasn't on the highway. I was outside by the cop
Girl, like she's
in
gone.
my car.
Not playing any games, but that's
Mm-mm.
not her.
That man's whole shirt was red. He had a baby blue shirt and it was blood all over it. No. And we was in Louisville,
Word.
Kentucky. Girl,
Anyway.
Mm-mm.
I was by the cops. I was safe.
Lord.
So I have a question because the title is your perinatal anxiety and depression. So, did you experience postpartum depression with either of your children?
No. Mm-mm. With Chance, it was during the pregnancy. Both of them, it was during.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Kennedy, it was the anxiety during the pregnancy. With Chance, it was like depression. But then I don't want to say I got over it, but it kind of just like went away. And I think it was just when I accepted that that was my thoughts in the beginning, and that's okay. You're not the first, you're not the last, and
Mm-hmm.
moved on. But it took a long time for me to even talk about it. So the fact that I'm talking about it on this type of platform
Mm-hmm.
is a big deal because it took me forever to talk about it. Like I acted like it didn't exist for a very long time. But now I'm comfortable with talking about it because I'm like, he's here, he's 3.
I get
Yeah, like there's nothing I can do about it. I thought it. He's loved. I do everything. Still got PPD. Can men? That's a good question. Can men have postpartum depression?
I don't. That's something we would have to Google.
No.
You got you never know.
I
They
mean,
they have pregnancy cravings. He said I did with all four. Still got PPD. The only thing I can think of is postpartum depression.
I need to hear what type of postpartum depression
I'm about to Google it.
that is
I
not associated with you having to wait 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Other than that, how
wait,
was you
no,
depressed?
there. That's what I say. There is a daddy depression out there now.
wait.
Come on.
I would like to hear this.
Yes.
It is unitypoint.org, and the title is called Male Postpartum Depression Unity Point Held. 1 in 10 men experience postpartum depression compared to 1 in 7 women. Women usually seek peak symptoms around months 2 to 3, while men usually peak later in the first year. Men tend to show more anger and risk-taking behaviors, while women tend to display crying, hopelessness, loss of interest, and guilt. Okay, I don't like the whole hopelessness thing. Whenever you're pregnant, they say you hopeless. Like, oh, you're hopeless.
It's a feel. It's the way they try to describe the feeling, because like depression is a feeling that you can't really explain, so they just call it hopeless. That's their way of describing it, giving a name to it. So it's not like you necessarily feel hopeless, but dealing with perinatal anxiety and depression.
No, it's just unitypoint.org. And then it's got this man that's very stressed out.
First of all, please, like you said, cite it. Go to the bottom. Who wrote that article? Is it a scholarly source?
This Unity
Use
Point.
this college degrees that you done got.
Oh no, it's
to let me know.
I think it's like a hospital. Yeah, it's a hospital.
It's a health journal.
No, it's a house. It's a my class. It's a hospital.
I need to know if it's a published health journal, because you got to have your PhDs to be writing for the hospital, for the journals and all that. You can't just be publishing.
Well, Maxwell said he was the 1 in 10.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna knock his feelings. Okay, that's one thing I have.
I'm not saying men don't get depressed. I said postpartum.
Yes, depression.
But I mean, okay, so I think
exactly.
Thank you, Cynthia.
I do, but I agree with Miss Sydney as well. But I do think that some symptoms, like during your pregnancy, may get.
Like what?
Like the what is it called? When they
gain weight?
Yeah, when they have the food cravings. Some men get
that is not real.
Sympathy cravings.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't experience
that. Is not real.
I didn't experience that, so I don't know.
I mean, I hear like
that's all I tried.
But that's only because if I say I want some hot wings and some pickles, like I didn't. But I feel like because you got it, you're gonna eat it with me too.
Yes,
it's not craving.
The hot wings don't sound bad. Like that's how I feel. Like
Maxwell,
that sounds good.
You want Chipotle? Food. I want Chipotle too, and you gain weight because I'm eating.
Exactly, because we go into the same restaurants. I'm eating 5 times a day. Your man, like, I can eat, and that's how it goes.
So again, Maxwell, I tried. Okay, I tried to help you out there. It didn't work.
6 months off, really?
Maybe next episode, and then here comes Lance with the alley-oop. Okay, so men can't feel the emotions a woman feels, especially if he's connected to this woman. I'm trying to help y'all out. They're not having it. So we're just
I'm not having it.
Okay, Lola, that is not.
First of all, that is a thing.
That is a thing,
and it's a protein packed meal. Like I don't know why
it used to come. My mama used to eat them. It used to come in a thing.
Yeah, you put it over.
Yes,
put it over.
Yeah, I don't eat that.
That now.
But I didn't eat that during our pregnancy.
I didn't eat that.
I did not eat that during pregnancy. That is an off pregnancy meal because I would have thrown up. But I ate more.
No, okay, I'm gonna back up. My aunt said, "Can be a chance for heaven sent anxiety and depression is all a part of the devil, but God." And when I tell you, my aunt is actually, when she told me what she thought about, like when she had her kids and stuff, that definitely helped me as well, because I was like, okay, like,
I sought out advice too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did.
that definitely helped too, because I'm like, when she told me hers, and I'm not gonna tell her business unless she puts in the chat that I can say what she told me, because I remember.
Beyonce and Maxwell gonna get cussed out when I see them on this triple date, because what are you talking about? It could be true. Miss hanging out, going to Vegas with the homies, going to the gym 3 times a year instead of 3 times a week.
We're still big, okay? Because we can't go to the gym at all because we got the babies.
Don't say we, okay? Because your girl done lost about 25 pounds.
Lola is bodying. But
Lola been in the gym.
I don't want to put Maxwell's wife out there.
No, but I'm just saying in general.
Lola's body goes.
But I'm saying in general. I'm saying in general because
she snapped back. Do you hear me?
One person, like everybody's vision of big is different. So like I may be big to you, but to somebody else they be like, oh no, you're not big.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. So like as a mom, you don't have like your world literally centers around your children.
Yeah.
So of course it's easy for the dad to pick up and go X, Y, and Z because Maxwell threw me off. But it's easy for the mom to like, like it's easy for the dad to pick up and do X, Y, Z because the mom is going to
pick up the son. Yeah.
So
I do have a question though, going back to the help, because I know you said you like talks to your aunt and about and had you guys compare stories. But did you seek outside help? Did you go to therapy? Did anyone prescribe meds? Like, did you seek that type of extra help?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
Because I'm not taking no medicine. I'm not about to.
Well, not just medicine. There could be, there's other herbal remedies, things to do. Like they will give you activities to do, or having that conversation, just having therapy in general to help you.
I went to that group, the mother mommy's thing. So during that, I learned ways to like help with my anxiety. Okay. So like for example, like now I don't like elevators. So in the event that I have to get in one, I have to talk to somebody on the phone, or I play music loud in my ear so I can't hear the noise of the elevator. So like I found different ways to cope with it. But no, I was not getting on no medication because I was not. They try to put you in outpatient, all types of stuff. I wasn't that far gone.
Okay.
Pre-depression.
Well, like, how did you cope with it? Like, essentially, like, did you feel like you had support from like family, from Deontay, your partner and all? Like, how were you coping?
Like with it after or during?
During
sleeping. I was sleeping a lot, and like he would make me get up, different things like that, like opening the blinds, fresh light in, getting out of the house. I don't know really what else I did, because like it was like once I found out it was a boy, I was happy, like I was excited about it. I would often like think like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought about that. I don't know. It kind of just like I got over it.
You just got over it.
Same.
Yeah, I just got over it. It's not, and I don't know if it's a Virgo thing. You just get over it. Just let it go.
Everything ain't got to do with a sign.
But I definitely think it is though, because you just be like, okay, whatever.
I don't think it has to do like I'm not an astrology person. I do feel like a certain group of women, will just push things and get past things instead of like dealing with things. And sometimes things can turn into internal trauma if we're not seeking the help that we need. Because a lot of Black people don't go to therapy and don't go seek the help that we need. That's why I'm asking, like, how did you deal with it, and did you seek outside help? I do want to pause for a second and get to the comment section, because I do feel like the fathers feel like, we hit a point and we weren't including them on our journey. I do want to say personally, and I know all these moms on here, we know that the father's role is vital to our children's lives. We are not doubting the fathers, but part of the conversation was dealing with, Tan's story, which is perinatal anxiety and depression. And we're talking about dealing with that, coping with that, and having to go through like, and from our perspective, from a mother's perspective, we do see that fathers don't have to deal with the same traumas that we have to deal with internally, as well as you guys are able to go on, because while Tan may be feeling a certain way and not being able to express that emotion, her partner, because I'm not calling out Deontay, I don't want to call you out, but her partner is able to live life. He's not feeling that. He's not feeling the
Right.
emotions he's feeling, especially dealing with that while being pregnant. And what is postpartum psychosis? Because I need to know what that is, Jacqueline. I don't know what that
So,
is.
okay, so yes, this is coming from WebMD, but this is the only.
Okay.
So it says postpartum psychosis is a condition you can get after giving birth. It affects your sense of reality. You might have hallucinations or delusions. In severe cases, you might want to try to harm yourself or your newborn. It's a mental health emergency.
No, I
I've
have
never. No.
Okay, so I never thought that, but I know, like, you know how you have your checkups with your doctor. Um, my doctor asked me, like, do you feel like you want to harm yourself or your baby? And I
Yeah.
was honest with them. I said, no, I want to harm other people because they be trying to touch my baby. They be doing all types of stuff when we be out and about and stuff like that. And he just went on about his business because I guess that's normal. He ain't say it, they didn't say I was depressed or nothing. He just said, okay. Just checked off the little like little survey they tried to take on the paper. Did y'all have that at y'all doctors?
Yeah. We have at every
Yeah.
appointment. Yeah.
So I think
Even going to the baby's appointment, they give you the mom that survey.
yeah. So I think it's like a thin line between the baby blues and postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a thin line. So I think that's categorized under like the baby blues.
I'm
But
not sure what is Deontay asking. He said, "Well, for one, sir, we don't want you to be typing and driving.
Yes.
So either just listen or pull over." But I'm thinking he's asking, "What is postpartum?"
well,
Oh,
postpartum is after you deliver the baby. So like if you're depressed after you have your child. Um,
um,
that's right? Because I was sitting there like,
yeah. No, yeah, that I was reading the other comments. I'm sorry.
oh, because y'all was like, oh,
Postpartum is just the act after having the baby, and then it's
yeah,
postpartum depression
Depression,
or
postpartum
postpartum.
anxiety,
Yeah, it's just after having the baby, and then those other terms are like she said, anxiety, depression, or what it is,
psychosis.
psychosis.
Yeah.
Um, Lance says, Lola, do you really believe that your man slash husband can't feel what his wife is going through?
Dealing with postpartum depression and anxiety, when I dealt with it, I could not explain how I was feeling. I couldn't explain what I was feeling sometimes, and like being down and not just feeling like myself. Me not being able to explain that, and my man asking me like what's wrong, or how can I help, and I can't even tell you how to help me. I don't think he could feel how I felt and what I was going through, because I couldn't even explain that. I know he knew something was wrong and something was off, but not being able to feel exactly what I'm feeling or go through what I'm going through with me, that's not the same.
yeah,
I agree. Now, like Lola said, I don't. We're not trying to discredit the men in any
Mm-hmm.
way, shape, or form, but for me to be cut open or delivering, I'm tearing or whatever that is, and they
Yeah.
holding your hand and all that stuff. It's like they're there for you, but they cannot feel what you're
mm-hmm.
going through, pain wise, depression wise. I don't feel like that's just like saying when somebody passed away, like you don't know what this feels like. You can't
Exactly.
give sympathy and empathy, but you don't know personally
Yeah.
what this feels like for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I look at it. Like they can be supportive, but they can't feel what you feel.
Exactly.
And it's hard to explain it because it's a chemical imbalance. Your hormones are all over the place, and this may be like dramatic, but this is literally how I look at like giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
As women, when you're giving birth, you're putting your life on the line for however many times you have a child. Because to me, giving birth is the closest thing to
They
death that
said
you
that,
can
yeah.
Yeah, that you can ever experience in life. Because you have to think about it. Our bodies are literally separating itself and then
Oh.
putting itself back together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you there to like rub a hand or encouraging words while you push. But it for me, the whole mentality of becoming a mom happened when I peed on that stick. It wasn't when the baby got here. For men, it's totally different. Your mentality changes once that baby gets here.
because
But I
everything
went through,
changes.
Yeah.
yes, like I went through the whole, like I like that what Jacqueline said. Men
Yeah.
can have sympathy for you, but
Okay, yeah, I said
that's,
both,
yeah,
but
like that's the,
there's a difference.
yeah, like that's it. You can go in there with me, but you're not putting your life on the line. God, like for those women that have passed away during childbirth, their partners are still here, so you can't understand or like you can't just I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for them because they keep saying you can't speak for a man like we can speak for a woman. Okay, so has your body ever separated and you pushed through life?
Push
I would.
life. It.
They just
I
said
would.
mentally or mentality changes when I know that baby is coming, and that's the it's different.
Still
Your
different.
mind is changing, but our bodies are changing.
Yes.
But also too at the point of when your mentality changes as well, because women, once we're pregnant, that's when we're feeling the baby. We have a mentality change until that baby is here or coming and on its way, like coming out and that labor is happening. I feel like a lot of men, they don't have that connection with the baby like women do. So it's a
Yeah.
lot different.
Because like for the first few months, that baby only depends on you for everything.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot, Kim.
At
That's what.
this point.
Go get them. Just do it. Perform a vasectomy today at home.
Because it won't be no more life to be pushed out. Okay.
Yeah, but
I,
it's just different. I don't know. Like we're not talking connection. Okay, let me see. Okay, my aunt said men can't empathize because they will never experience what we as women go through, carrying and delivering a whole human being.
my good.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
your body, you go through so many changes mentally, physically, emotionally, everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the honesty from Deontay. He said, not gonna lie, I felt helpless and useless in the room, especially when Kennedy was born. I
Yes.
like the honesty.
He didn't know what to do. I was in pain. He didn't know what to do because they kept pump like that pitocin. They have to keep
My
pumping it
gosh. Don't even
to
remind.
like, and I couldn't get an epidural. It was Deontay and my little brother. My little brother literally walked out the room. He
He
was
was
like,
in there
"Girl, okay." So when Kenny was born,
with your twat all up.
no, it wasn't then.
Oh, okay.
He left at that part. But no, with Kennedy, because Kenny was born in 2018, it was Deontay, my mom, my little brother, my dad came, my grandma, her husband, um,
It's a lot of people.
my aunt, my little cousin,
Mm-hmm.
and Deontay's mom worked at the hospital at the time.
What time of day did you have Kennedy? In the morning or afternoon?
Um, Kennedy was born, I think, at like 2 in the morning.
Oh,
So
okay.
like I was but remember they had to check me out. We got to the hospital at 12. They observed me for 4 hours. Then they had me leave. Told me to come back at 4:30. So they told me to leave, go get something to eat, come back at 30 minutes till I get my room ready. We went from 5 o'clock up until 2, and I pushed with both kids for over an hour.
Mm, I know way.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
I had just asked because I had Cameron in 2015, and it was still only three of us, well,
well
including
they
before.
so that was they were there during the whole like leading up to, but once it got to the pushing part, because my aunt cousin left, my grandma her husband left, and then my dad left the room because he didn't want to see down there. And at this point, I didn't care who was down there. Like Deontay's mom apologized afterwards. She was like, "I'm so sorry. I was all in." I was like, "Girl, I could care less who was all in." So yeah, we definitely have a lot of people in there with Kennedy, but he's not the only person that said that. My little brother had to leave the room because he was like, "She's in pain." Because at one point, before I got the epidural, I was crying.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't want to see her like this. I
Yeah.
can't help her. So, but God willing, I'm still here, y'all.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And so are the kids.
Okay, I have a question since we're getting close to ending your story. I see that I think I know the answer, but since it was brought up by your significant other,
Don't even ask. Because I know the answer. Next.
will you consider
Next question. No, I will not.
having more children?
No. And I can honestly say no because of that mental state I was in.
Okay.
I can't. I don't want to put myself through that again.
So
Have
are you currently? Oh, you did say last week you take you what you get the IUD.
copper tea?
Absolutely. A
You
copper
Okay.
you got IUD because I was gonna ask. So if you don't want more children, what are your methods? But you have an IUD.
I have an
Mm-hmm.
IUD. She's going to swap it out because she no. Um
So you're just gonna do IUDs forever until
if
menopause.
he married you, would you say yes?
Like to having more children is what
No.
I'm guessing.
Like
Okay.
no.
Okay.
No, no, and no, and no, and no.
Okay.
All things no. Like I would not put myself through that mentally again. Like
Mm-hmm.
again, you don't know what your spouse is going through mentally when they're going through those things. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they're dealing with. So you can't necessarily say that. And then to say like if he married me or not married me, I'm not doing it. I'm opposed to it. I will adopt, but me pushing more children out, no. I'm almost at that what do they call it? Geriatric
Yeah,
pregnancy.
I was going, and I was just getting ready to say the older that you get, the more
Yeah.
Yeah.
complicated
Isn't it like
things
35?
can be.
Is
There
it
is
35?
35. It is
35.
35.
I'm a hop
You'll be
skip.
35 this year.
No, ma'am.
No.
I'll,
Oh wait,
I'll be 34.
I forgot. Y'all was a few years behind me.
A few years. Okay.
A few years.
That's a ladylike thing to say.
I'm geriatric.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's like I
did y'all
said,
have this conversation before? Like, have y'all talked about like you not wanting kids, like outside of him finding out on this podcast? I hope.
yes.
Okay,
All
I just wanted to make sure.
So Deontay just
for that.
acted brand new. He said, "Damn,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know why he said it.
see, memory gets a little foggy when other people are around. Because
Because
I can guarantee you, we've had these conversations before too. And then when other people are around, they'd be like,
Huh?
"Well,
thing is
I
because
just wanted to make sure this was not
no,
how he
look,
was finding out. I just wanted to
no, it's like
know.
when
okay."
no, it's like remember when you was little, you knew your mom was gonna say you couldn't go somewhere, so you put it on speakerphone like, "Hey, mom, I'm with so and so. Can can I stay the night over their house?" And then she'd be like, "No, no, 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 get me off the damn speakerphone." Blah, 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 blah. Remember?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it is. But no, we've had this conversation. I don't.
that didn't work on my mama, and it's not gonna work on me.
Yeah,
Mm.
ditto. But I mean, it's I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
what I was going to say was this: if you, I feel like when you have three, then you gotta have one more to try to balance it out to be
No, you
two.
don't.
No, you
No, you
don't.
don't. No, you don't.
That's just how
Don't
mine.
ever let nobody lie to you, because no, you don't.
Mm-mm.
No, ma'am.
Is you said that's your auntie Jacqueline, Auntie
Uh-uh.
Jackie?
No.
I mm, mm.
Mm-mm.
Oh. Oh.
It says your great
17?
great great grandmother had 17 children, and I say that to my mom too. Her mom had 6, and her mom had 10. Just how?
That's
Right.
a lot.
How?
Mm-mm.
You just
17
pregnant your
kids.
whole life? Because what else?
That is,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
it just registered 17.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
God bless
But
her.
then, look, but back then they were like not at hospitals and stuff because
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. These midwives at the house and y'all upstairs in
yeah.
bed. Oh no.
I have
Ugh.
20 nieces and nephews, 2
Mm-mm.
great nephews. Well, that I mean, be fruitful and multiply if it's in your spirit, because
Yeah.
mm-mm. So Deontay said
Yeah,
we
that's not gonna be
all the
my
time. She will change her mind one day. If she doesn't, it is what it is. I got two beautiful kids. I'm honestly cool with it. So okay.
Okay, I rock with that.
Well, look, this is my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
I got a girl. I got a boy. What else
Yeah.
can I have? A cat, a dog, a bunny?
I
No.
said the same thing, and then
Let it go. That you, I, I don't know. I don't know what your situation is.
it was an accident.
Yeah. Mm-mm. I just.
Well, I was gonna ask that question in that house. Okay, mine in that house code is how you got them kids and the bills paid. That's another conversation for another day.
That house code.
That house code got them bills paid.
Okay.
Girl.
Oh my gosh, we're not gonna talk about that house code now. That little night.
Lord have mercy.
That's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
17.
So I guess I'll save my questions for Lola for next week.
You can say it. If we go over, we could like.
No, I'm because it's. Or do you want to have more children, Lola?
No, I don't. I already told y'all. La Clinique for me. I am not La Clinique. I will be at the clinic. If any accidents happen, because we know I'm not on birth control. But in reality, I am not. I don't want any more children. I've been through a lot. My last 2 pregnancies were not the greatest. And I knew my last pregnancy for me, I knew that was going to be my last, and I tried to make it the best, and it still was not great at any point. So, but that's something we will talk about next week. For the topic, it will be Lola's story. But I don't plan on having no more kids. I don't want no more kids. Once this body snap back, that's the last snap it's got to do. We done. Yes.
So I'm feeling a little bully vibe coming from the chat with Lance and Maxwell, and I really don't like it. So here we go with this modern day women thing from
Maxwell.
like,
We don't even have to address that comment.
And then Lance said, "Lola, you just told Max you would have another one."
We joke all the
hold on,
time,
wait.
but we not having no more kids.
Don't worry, Lola.
Okay.
I got you with this one. She lied. Okay. She lied. She's not doing it. She doesn't want any more.
No more.
When did y'all have this conversation? Was it late night adult time, or was this you'll say anything? Okay.
There has been a lot of times I have said
you don't say anything because still I'm not saying
I think
that.
she probably said it in like
a joking way.
Yeah.
No,
I don't serious.
like and Lola has this way of saying things where it could be like borderline asshole, but you'll believe her. And
wow,
probably what it was. Oh, he said this was at his house watching TV, so now he's claiming to be a witness to said.
Wait a minute. I haven't been in your house in months. Wait, we had this conversation. We decided to keep Enzo. Oh yeah. When we decided to keep Enzo, we said no more kids. Like we knew that was the last pregnancy. Like we knew then and there. Anytime we've ever talked about having another child, like no, that's not in the plans for us. And we know that. That's not our plan.
Look, Maxwell, Lance, any men out there, if you want any more kids and your wife doesn't, then you can have whatever you can carry. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't even want to carry a purse most days, let alone a whole other kid.
Okay.
Fanny pack me.
I got 2 car seats in the car at once. So.
Yep, I remember them days.
I don't have enough room for anything else.
Exactly.
My third row is let down because I have a stroller, double stroller. So I'm good.
I need me a 7-seater.
Girl, you need
I have a 7-seater and we already maxed out the kids for that.
So you want a Sprinter van?
Huh?
You need a Sprinter van?
No, I don't need no Sprinter van.
I do at this point.
Yeah,
he's against getting a van, so it's got to be like something with a third row. I prefer captain seats, so I need like a Tahoe or a Suburban.
You can get an Acadia. It has a third row. I have one.
Okay.
But you just can't use a third row and a stroller in there.
Right.
Depending on what big stroller is. Get a church. Why does all men say we carry millions of children just because, like, of the whole human anatomy?
I mean, because without the egg, the sperm is nothing. So, I mean, Maxwell hate when I say that.
But like, like, is that supposed to carry some type of value?
I mean,
Listen,
we're gonna let that go.
No, I'm just asking because, like, he's not the first one that I've heard say that.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, I've been carrying for 30 some years." Okay, and
Well,
that's
actually, no, because
relevant to the 9 months that I had to carry him.
I didn't know that. I thought sperm rejuvenates. I don't know. Don't quote me, but I felt like when we was learning that, I thought sperm rejuvenates. Women are born with the amount of eggs that they carry, and when at birth, and men, sperm is, yeah, you're not carrying that your whole life. Yes, it do carry value. All right. Well, this was a great topic. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the evening. Tune in next Monday. It will be Lola's story. I will be talking about the stressors of pregnancy. I'll be discussing the hardships of pregnancy as far as dealing with doctors, family, and blending a family. So we're going to get into that next week. Please tune in and join us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. Ladies, you got any closing statements?
amen.
Amen.
Praise him.
See y'all next week.
Yes, we will see you next
Next
week.
month.
Yes.